Welcome back. My name is Dr. Carl Baird, and today I'll be discussing 5 causes of shoulder pain that often get missed or overlooked in traditional rehabilitation programs. So before we get started, it's important to understand the shoulder is one of the most complex joints in the body. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of things that impact how our shoulder moves. And what can happen with just traditional physical therapy is it's really good at kind of rehabbing or strengthening individual rotator cuff muscles, but oftentimes they miss these underlying factors, and it kind of causes, well, the therapy helps for a little bit, but then the shoulder pain comes back the minute you stop doing it. And so what we want to do is take a deeper look at things that cause shoulder pain so we can work on improving those things and improving shoulder movement so that we can get longer lasting solutions to shoulder pain and you can keep active, work, sleep, exercise without shoulder pain. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the more common causes of shoulder pain that I see in my clinic is a stiff mid-back. So our shoulder movement is directly linked to the amount of movement in our mid-back. And again, a lot of us spend a lot of time kind of rounded forward, sitting at a desk, sitting at a computer, which over time can create some stiffness, which is going to limit the amount of movement in your shoulder joint, which is then going to put a lot of stress on the muscles, ligaments, tendons of the shoulder. So to show you what I'm talking about, with a nice stiff a loose mid back, I can get my hands up. Again, biceps to ears is kind of where we want to get with our hands. But what happens when I'm in this stuck, rounded forward position and I try to lift my arms straight up? You can see this is as high as I could go. And so this becomes a problem for anybody that does anything overhead or you start to exercise, because if this is high as I can go and I'm trying to do stuff overhead, it's going to stress a lot of the muscles, tendons, ligaments in that shoulder. So it's really important that we assess and address your mid-back mobility to help solve shoulder pain. Another common cause of shoulder pain is a lack of core stability. So on the opposite side of the spectrum of too much stiffness, what can happen is some people are actually too mobile or they're hyper flexible, meaning they just can't control this movement or they go too far back. And just like being too stiff, this puts a lot of stress and strain on the muscles, ligaments, and tendons of the shoulder. So what we need to focus on is creating stability. Improving core stability and core strength centrally is going to help you control and improve movement distally, especially at the shoulder. So that's why it's important that we first take a look at your body type. Are you too stiff? Or are you too flexible? And if you're either one of those, we need to balance that out. Another common cause of shoulder pain has to do with scapular movement. So our scapula is your shoulder blade, the thing that sits right on the back here, where a lot of the muscles of the rotator cuff are attached. And an inability to move or control your shoulder blade can impact movement at the shoulder. And so that's why it's important that if you're having some shoulder pain, that we also look at improving movement and improving our ability to control our shoulder blade to take tension and to take strain off of the muscles, tendons, ligaments of the shoulder joint itself. Another common cause of shoulder pain are muscle imbalances in our upper body. So this is probably one of the more common things you see that's also just a result of a lifestyle of being kind of rounded forward. And what happens is we get muscle tightness, usually it's in the front, and weakness in the back, which causes those kind of shoulders to roll forward. And again, that's going to pinch and compress things in the front while straining things in the back, which over time is going to lead to shoulder pain. So if we're going to solve shoulder pain, it's really important that we improve these muscle imbalances, create more balance front to back by stretching and mobilizing the tissues in the front and strengthening the muscles in the back to pull our shoulder back into place and take this strain off of your shoulder. The fifth common cause of shoulder pain is the shoulder itself not being centered in the joint. So to help you understand what I mean by this, the best analogy I've heard for the shoulder joint is it's like a golf ball on a golf tee. So it is a ball and socket joint, but the ball, and this is going to be your arm bone, is bigger than the socket itself. So this is kind of the glenoid fossa on the scapula. And so what happens as a result of these muscle imbalances is it rolls your shoulder forward. So that golf ball gets rounded forward. It's not on the center of that golf tee. And what that does is it pinches and compresses things in the front, strains things in the back, and over time, this leads to pain. So it's really important that not only are we correcting these muscle imbalances, but we're also focusing on what are called shoulder centration exercise to keep that shoulder joint centered in the joint so that we take the strain and the compression off of all these structures of the shoulder. So there you have it. Those are 5 common causes of shoulder pain that often get left out of traditional physical therapy programs. It's really important to understand that the shoulder joint is a very complex joint. There's a lot of things that impact the movement of that joint, and just simply doing banded exercises to rehab individual muscles for most people, especially in adults, is not going to be enough. So really taking a look at core stability, mid-back mobility, scapula control, muscle imbalances, and centering the joint is going to put you on the right path to solve shoulder pain, keep active, and maintain your lifestyle as you get older. So as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to help, and have a great day. Hey, it's Dr. Baird here. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page to catch all our videos designed to help you build the strength and confidence to live active, healthy, and happy lives. You won't find it anywhere else.